exercise you are going to undertake, which is the review of the curriculum, must result in the production of ethical and responsible leaders for our country, Ghana. I know that many of you are familiar with the task. To succeed in this new world and to build the Ghana we want and envision, our children would need more than academic knowledge. They need to be relevant, they need to be adaptable and acquire holistic skills that empower them to think critically, solve problems, communicate effectively, work in teams, and navigate uncertainty with confidence. We expect that when you undertake the review well, this should be the outcome of what our learners should gain from 21st century skills. The curriculum review would be deeply rooted in the 21st century skills, which are a new foundation block for learners' development. And as many of you are already aware, these are grouped into 4 learning skills which require critical thinking, creativity, collaboration, and communication. Then literacy skills, which involves information literacy and media literacy, including technological literacy, the use of digital tools and digital equipments, and then also matters relating to life skills, flexibility, leadership, and productivity. There's also a strong move to center African voices in the effort, and we must take a cue from UNESCO, the general history of Africa, which reminds us that we have our own stories, inventions, and wisdom. It is time our children learn that Africa has always had something to offer, not just in terms of. So our children should not come and you still want to be talking about colonialism and the impact of colonialism without talking about how confidence into the new age. So we expect that your curriculum review will reflect real life. And for instance, I expect that into next year, President John Dramani Mahama should be launching a new flagship in education that will be themed or dubbed beyond academic skills, beyond classroom learning. What other competences or talents can learners acquire? We expect that in the review of your curriculum, some dedicated time, at least an hour or 2, be allotted for learners to be with themselves in groups to undertake some national exercises. I mean, if the school boys and girls are to be doing painting, give them 1 hour together to do the painting. If they have to be in a group to learn how to farm, let them be together as a group to learn how to farm. So we intend that this will be dubbed beyond academic skills. It may not necessarily just end at what I have provided in terms of painting or farming, but they undertake some exercise that would make them want to grow, as I said, responsibly, and which will define, root them in their national identity, identify them with their values and ethics. You recall that in one of my public discussions, I had mentioned that a review of the curriculum necessarily must reflect an introduction of ethics and integrity, so that when they are growing up, you have strong training in terms of what is right, what is wrong, and for them to learn not to want to abuse state resources or public resources tomorrow, and not to focus on their individual self, but to work for a group of society. I should also say that we expect you to develop a curriculum that also strengthens our national values: honesty, respect, integrity, patriotism, and more importantly, civic responsibility. You don't want a generation of Ghanaians tomorrow who grow up and their children want to avoid paying taxes or evade payment of taxes. It will reflect if you let them know that they have a certain responsibility to the state and a civic responsibility to the state. I should end on a matter which I'm sure many of you would say that why is Haruna stoking controversy? Knowing and teaching our true history with pride. Anyone who abandons his past and history loses his way to the future, I'm told. This is why we must be intentional in how we teach our children about Ghana's rich and complex history. So I'm at a loss that at 68 years, we are still grappling with who are the founders of Ghana and who is the founding leader of Ghana or who is the founding father of Ghana. This must be a settled matter. In every country, there are its founding fathers. It's reasonable to conclude that Dr. Kwame Nkrumah Osajefo is a founding leader of Ghana. But if at this age, you still want children to be asking fathers and mothers questions, who is the founder of Ghana, who are the founders of Ghana, then there is a problem. At 68 years, you shouldn't be asking who birthed you as a country. So I'm sure many of you growing up, including those who are even instigating this debate, were themselves students of history. I'm sure whether you are aware So your review of curricula must end this matter so that children are not growing up. And those of you who are academics, we are not. I'm the politician this afternoon. I'm not sure any of you has a better literature that can go and substitute when you say self-government now and self-government in the possible future. If any of you has a better literature or narrative which is historical, you are free to share it with us. So you must also bring some of these matters to a necessary end. I don't want Ghanaian children to grow up not knowing who its founding fathers are or who its foundational leader was. And I expect that your review will bring the debate settled on this particular matter. That is not to say that I recognize what the other contributions of other founding fathers were in our independence struggle, but place each of them where they historically belong, with the fact and literature supporting those matters. So on my honor and privilege as Minister for Education, I declare the Curriculum Review Committee duly launched and inaugurated. I expect you to have some other technical committees to support you. I know that you will not be happy with it, but because I'm minister, I'm also a politician. The history of Ghana should not change by the numbers in parliament. Because you have majority in parliament, you rewrite the history. Another party comes because it has a majority, rewrites history. That's wrong. So I'm yielding my chairship of the committee to Professor Amina Plummer to chair the committee together with you. And I will stay in the background and give you policy support. God bless. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So, well done.